Hey, Michelle, how's everything going?
It's hot.
It's hot. You are in New York City summer. Oh my gosh. Are you dying?
Yes. Yeah, it's pretty hot, and my air conditioning is broken, everyone. So I am just if you notice that I'm shinier than usual, it's because
Shiny.
I'm sweating. But that's okay. That's okay. We're getting it fixed today, and
This
it's okay.
happens. Yeah, it happens. Oh
It builds
man.
character.
Oh, it builds character. And some of the places, I mean, Egypt was so hot when I was there. Oh, it was crazy hot. Places in the Middle East where our listeners are. Woo. I'm sure you guys are
Yeah.
just baking.
And I know a lot of places like may not have air conditioning or like it
Yeah.
may not. I mean, I have a friend in London who said they just don't have air conditioning. So I think in the U.S.
Right.
AC is like everywhere,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
yeah, so it's like
It's true. So,
yeah.
Michelle, let's talk about luxury items. Do you like luxury items? How do you feel about luxury?
I don't really it's not my thing. I mean, like people are really into it. I have friends who it's like a really I mean, and that's fine. Like it's a big deal for them to get like a name brand, a purse or something like that. I know some people who like that, but for me, th- expensive things make me nervous. Like I can't be trusted
Yeah.
to not lose something, or like sometimes Dan will be like, "Oh, why don't you get yourself like a nice pair of sunglasses instead of the $10 ones you have?" And I'm like, "My kids just like step on them or
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
just
yeah, yeah,
broken.
yeah.
It's just not worth it to me." But I can appreciate that they're very nice things. How about you?
Yeah, I feel very similar because I like to live in a way that if I lose something,
Yeah.
it's okay. Like I don't need that much, right? Because then also when you have luxury items, you have to insure them, right? Like if you
Yeah.
have an expensive ring, you have to buy insurance for that ring and you have to worry about where it is. Life just becomes a little more stressful. I think when you have more luxury items, I would rather have my value built up in my memories, my
Same.
life, my
That's why we're
relationships.
the
Yeah.
same, Lindsay, in that way. Like, yeah, same.
Yeah, same. That's how we feel. So that is what we think. But we're going to talk a little bit about luxury on the show today. But first, Michelle, we need our listeners to hit follow on the podcast. Why?
Yes. Well, because let it come to you guys.
Yeah.
I know that if I like for podcasts I listen to, if I'm not subscribed to them, then I have to look for them. But if I'm
Yes.
subscribed, I get a notification that it's ready
Totally.
for me. So make it
Yes.
easy.
Exactly. So, guys, go and hit that follow button now. So, Michelle, would you like to read the question from our listener today for a change? We'll switch it up a little
Let's
bit
do
today.
it. Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Here we go. This question was from YouTube. So it says, "Hey, I'm Basira. I'm sorry if I mispronounced it. From Iran. Dear Jessica and dear Aubrey, or I guess Lindsay and Michelle too. I appreciate your time and effort in helping us. You're such good teachers. They are. By the way, a quick question: can I describe a luxury house? Oh, so this is
This is an
they're
IELTS
talking
question.
they're okay. So I missed that it's a little bit of an IELTS question, but we're gonna still talk about this today. And if they want to touch on
Yeah.
that in IELTS,
Well,
they can go for it
well,
too.
yeah, totally. Oh, you want to finish the question? So
Yes,
it
sure.
says,
In the cue card question, when it describes a luxury, describe a luxury item that you want to have.
right. So I think she's talking about probably speaking part 1, 2 or 3 is my guess. So guys, if you are taking IELTS, go over and listen to the IELTS Energy podcast with the experts, Jessica and Aubrey. They will get you ready for IELTS. All right. So this is actually a question related to IELTS. But the thing about IELTS is that IELTS tests your real English. It is a
Yeah.
test of your ability to live in an English speaking country. And so we're going to take this question, repurpose it into how to talk about luxury in everyday conversations and business, Michelle. So good.
Yes, yes, exactly. So, yeah, we're gonna talk about this word luxury. I felt like this would make for a really good all ears English episode. So, let's go for it. So, luxury basically means expensive, fancy, high quality.
Yeah.
So it's a noun, right?
Yeah.
But we also use it kind of as an adjective before some nouns, right? So,
Oh,
like
yeah,
a
true.
luxury bag, right?
Mhm,
Um,
mhm. Yeah, that's kind of a modern use of it, right? A
yes.
lug the I don't know, luxury furniture, we'll think of more examples later in the
Yes, we're
episode,
gonna
but
get
you're
to it.
right. I hear it a lot as an adjective before the item, before the noun. But we do have a couple
Right.
other episodes, Michelle. One that our listeners should make sure they go back and listen to is 1713, How to Talk About Generations and Trends in English. I love that idea.
Yes, or there's episode 961 is how to describe your style and flair in English. So go and listen to that.
Yes.
So,
Good.
yeah, well, we use luxury to talk about general things. So we're gonna so first of all, would you say luxury house? So we're touching on this part of
Luxury
about
house.
luxury house.
Mm, I don't think I would say that. Like maybe a
Yeah,
luxury home,
right.
but a luxury house just doesn't quite work that phrase for me. What about you, Michelle?
That's how I feel. Like I feel like, oh, I might hear luxury home, but I don't know that I would hear someone say I live in a luxury home or I want a luxury home. I don't know.
Mhm.
Also, how do you spell it's interesting this word luxury, right?
Yeah,
It's spelled
it's
and
weird.
pronounced what? Right? Like how
Yeah.
is it how do you spell
Oh,
luxury,
spelling
Lindsay?
is so weird in English.
Yes.
Luxury. It doesn't seem like it should have a g sound, luxury, right?
Right.
It has a lot of
It
weird
seems
sounds in
like
it.
it seems like it should be like
Luxury.
Luxury.
Oh,
Luxury.
you know what? I was just in when I was in Egypt on my trip, we went to Luxor, and I was assuming I don't know, but I'm assuming maybe that's where the word luxury came from. This could be
Yeah.
fake news. I don't actually know. I haven't confirmed this, but my thinking when I was there the whole time was, "Oh, we're going to Luxor. Egypt is such an old civilization. That's probably where the word luxury came from or some derivative of the word lux."
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
Luxor, Lux,
interesting.
Luxor is the city, right? Where like King Tut's tomb is and all these ornate Egyptian, temples and things. So it kind of
Yeah.
makes sense, but I'm not sure if it's actually true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting theory.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like if you're going to say luxury house or luxury home, I feel like you would go with luxury home. And I was thinking, why is that? And I feel that like home maybe sounds a little bit more luxury than the word house. I mean, Lindsay,
Yeah.
what is the difference between a house and a home?
Oh, good question. Okay, so the difference between a house and a house is more about the physical structure,
Yeah.
right? Is it a house or is it an apartment? But your
Yeah.
home could be either a house or an
Right.
apartment or a boathouse, or it could be anything, right? So a home is
Right.
more like where your heart is. Home is where the heart is, right? It's
Yes.
where your family lives. It's where
Yeah.
it's what you come home to, come back to. And I think the reason, Michelle, another theory that could be just a theory, luxury home. I think this is about marketing in the real estate, industry.
Uh,
So
yes,
yeah.
that's where it might be used in
Yes.
real estate.
Yes.
Yep.
So a realtor is much more likely to say, "Oh, can I show you a few luxury homes in this
Yep.
neighborhood instead of
You're
a few
right.
luxury houses?" Because home feels more marketable.
Right. Like, I
Yes.
feel like if you were looking on I don't know, did you ever used to look on, like,
Redfin?
Redfin or
Oh,
any
yeah.
of those?
All the time.
Yeah. I feel
Yes.
like, they always have a description, and if there's maybe a really nice
Yes.
house, they might write in it, "This luxury home," but I wouldn't see
Yes.
luxury house, I don't think.
Right. So it's really just marketing, right? It comes down to the market, the industry of real estate, and that's why we say home.
Yeah. Yeah, it was interesting with the home house thing. It reminds me of career versus job, but we've talked about that before.
Mm, a little bit,
Right?
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
yeah. But
Mhm.
anyway, okay, so let's talk more about luxury.
Okay.
So a luxury home, what would that be, Lindsay? What is a luxury home?
I mean, it would be high end, right? And so it'd be an expensive home with designer things around, like the highest tier quality
Yeah,
appliances, right? The best appliances, maybe all decked out for voice activation,
yeah, yeah.
beautiful wood floors, expensive
Yeah.
wood floors, all redone bathrooms, maybe like a pool in the back. That's what I think of. I think of like Beverly Hills and, there are all these shows, right, around on the
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
HGTV, Love It or
Yeah.
Listed, or all
Yeah,
these.
yeah.
I think of that. So,
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I do not live in a luxury home.
I don't either. Who does, right? Oh
Yeah,
my
so,
gosh.
but who knows, maybe one day.
One day. Yes.
But yeah. So Lindsay, but we don't only use that to talk about homes, right?
Right.
So what else do we use luxury with? What might you hear it
Yeah, so luxury bags, luxury sheets, which might be worth the money.
with?
Luxury brands, right? So, yeah, certain brands, I think, like, for example, luxury cars, there's the brands that you think of, Porsche, BMW, right? These are considered kinda luxury brand cars, the higher end cars, right, Michelle?
Right.
Luxury
Right.
hotels, like, I know Marriott has a couple of lines in their brand, or just in general, I think Marriott is considered more in the luxury end of things as opposed to, like, a Days Inn or a,
Right. Right. Right.
that kind
Right.
of thing.
Lindsay, should we see how many luxury brands for fashion we can name between the two of us?
Good luck to us. I bet our listeners would do a heck of a lot better than we would.
Okay, let's try. Let's try. This is fun. Okay, I'll start. Louis Vuitton.
Oh, that's the obvious one.
Yeah, I took it.
I was thinking like Gucci.
Okay.
Okay. Gucci's luxury, right?
Chanel.
Okay. What about Donna Karan? I feel like she's never around anymore, but she was luxury at one
Yeah.
point, right? Is that
Yeah.
valid?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, but Prada.
Oh, I think I'm done. I think I'm out
I
of
know, I
ideas.
feel like I'm getting to the end too. We're so funny.
We're just not with it, Michelle. We're clearly
We're
not
not.
not exactly tuned into luxury, especially for fashion. Now, when it comes to luxury sheets, I have stayed
Yeah.
in a couple of guest houses, like family that had like a guest room where they invested in like high thread count sheets. That is worth it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah?
That's the one place that I think it's worth
Really?
spending. We don't have them here in my house, but when I go to their place and stay in their guest bed, oh, it's amazing. It's just like
That's
you
good.
sleep so well.
Really?
That might be
Okay.
worth the money. I mean, it depends on how much you're willing to spend, but high thread count, worth the money, I think.
All right. Okay, good to know. Good to know. So, I mean, Lindsay, we also sometimes use the word designer, right? Instead
Yes.
of luxury, right? Would you say that?
Yeah, and I think the designer term also extends to other strange things like designer dogs, right? Which is kind of a different topic for a different day, right? But,
Yeah.
yeah, I agree. I think luxury and designer are pretty much interchangeable depending on the product you're talking about.
Right. Like I would hear designer brand, designer bag, but I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't hear designer car, right? I feel like that would
No.
be yeah.
That would be scary. I don't want a designer car. It sounds like it's homemade or something. I don't.
Right, right, right. Yeah, I feel like designer is good for fashion. Yeah. So, well, I don't know. So the thing that's close to luxury that I get, the only like kind of name brand that I kind of like is Kate Spade, but I get the
Oh,
outlet ones or like
yeah.
if my like sometimes like there's like a really good outlet and then I
Right.
always you know what I like to look at them. I mean, I have online, I always get ads for Kate Spade, and I'll just, like, spend time looking at it,
Really?
and it's,
That's
like, all the
interesting.
stuff that's, like, 50% off, and I'm like,
Oh,
"Maybe
yeah.
I'm gonna do it," and then I just, like, forget, and then
Yeah.
I don't do
Yeah,
it.
that's one pro tip for our listeners for today. If you're living in the States,
Oh,
in most
outlet.
places, you can
Yes.
go outlet shopping and you can
That's the
get things like
best.
Tommy Hilfiger or Kate Spade. Maybe
Yes.
not the super, super high end stuff, but
Yeah.
like the second to top tier stuff
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
at these outlets for 50% off. I don't, is it just rejected stuff? I mean, it's perfectly good stuff.
No.
They just
I
didn't
think
sell
it's, like, last season.
last season. Okay.
So,
So,
I'm pretty sure, but anyway, guys, I love like, the outlets, like, I don't understand why I would ever shop anywhere else. It's just that they're not, like, everywhere, like, it's not as easy to find as, like, a mall or
yeah,
something
but I
like
think
that. Like, I don't
most states
yeah.
have it. Like, well, most states where
Yeah.
I've ever lived, right? Colorado, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, even Maine, they have outlet shopping. You just have to drive a couple of hours to get there,
Yeah, right,
but
right.
it's worth
But
it.
it's like Christmas, and so anyway.
Christmas. Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, another thing, I do love a luxury hotel, but, like, I don't
yeah.
do
I know you're
that's
a
not where
hotel person. You shared
I
that
do.
with us before, Michelle. Yeah, a good luxury hotel, like a really high-end Marriott or something is pretty nice, you know? You
Yeah.
can't complain. The breakfast buffet that's included in your room, just pools, saunas, spas, that's nice.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But last time when I was traveling, I stayed in, Airbnbs, and I love those too. I
That's
mean,
also amazing. Yeah.
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 So, anyway, this is a fun conversation. So, let's just throw out what are some
Yeah.
other
Let's
words
give
that
our
we can
listeners
use to
yeah.
describe, luxury?
Okay, guys. So write these ones down now. So upscale, fantastic word. High end word
Mhm,
would be great for IELTS, by the way, too. It's
mhm.
an upscale brand, so it's more expensive. Okay.
Good. Or
Yeah.
high end. She works in high end retail. She is very successful.
Yeah. A top of the line, right? Which this
Mhm.
bag is top of the line. I love it. Right.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And then, one could be ritzy, right? I don't know if this comes from the hotel, the Ritz-Carlton,
It's
but, right, do you
a
hear
good
this word
question.
ritzy?
Yeah, 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 I know the word for sure. The place they
Or is
chose
it
for
the
the
other way
reception
around?
I
Yeah.
don't know, it's a great question. Again, I don't know if that comes straight from just Ritz, the name Ritz, or vice versa. Probably, I'm guessing Ritz is probably like a family name, right? Okay,
I
we
don't
don't
know,
know.
now I
Guys,
wanna look
Google
this
it,
up.
Google it.
And should I
Here
do
let's just do our sample sentence for our listeners, right? So the
okay.
place they chose for the reception is really ritzy. Yeah, these are, these words do come up quite a lot, at least in
Yeah,
my world. I don't, like
yeah,
I said, I don't like indulge that much in luxury stuff, but for some reason, like I feel like I'm using these words a lot to compare products, services, hotels. They just come up a lot when you talk about, I
yeah.
guess we're just in a consumer culture, Michelle.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah, yeah,
key.
yeah, for
Yeah,
sure. Yeah, you'll hear these all the time.
all the time. Yeah.
So good to know. So should we do a role play? Oh,
Yeah,
in a
we're gonna
minute?
do that in just a minute. All right, Michelle, we are back for our role play. So we are here, and we both love designer shoes. That is not true for me.
Me either.
And we're shopping.
All
Here we go.
right, here we go. Oh, wow, look at these shoes. They're designer.
I love them. I've heard of this brand. It's definitely a luxury brand.
Yeah, well, this mall has great stores. They are really high end.
Yeah, upscale for sure.
Everything in this place is top of the line.
Oh yes, and the prices are ritzy too.
Oh, that's for sure.
Yeah, you're gonna pay for it if you're gonna always buy luxury items, right,
Yep.
Michelle? Yeah.
Yep, 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 yep.
Yep. So here, the first thing you said, "Oh wow, look at these shoes. They are designer." That's interesting because designer is really an adjective, right? But
Mhm.
you're saying they are designer. So I that's an interesting construction there. Mhm.
Yeah. I guess it's just that I'm, like, leaving out the word shoes, right?
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
instead of
Mhm.
saying they're designer shoes, it's kind of
Right.
cutting it off.
Exactly. Exactly. And then what did I say?
You said, "I've heard of this brand. It's definitely a luxury brand."
Yeah, and then you said they're all really high end. Yeah, very
Mhm.
common. And then I said, "Yes, upscale for sure." Mhm.
Yep, and then I said, "Everything in this place is top of the line."
And I said, "Yes, and the prices are ritzy too."
Yes.
That's funny, I like that. So what's the takeaway? This is fun. I mean, we live in such a consumer-oriented culture in the United States, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that's how kind of industry grew post World War II in our
Mhm.
country. That's why we had these booms that we've had because we love to shop. A huge portion of our economy runs on consumerism, humongous. If people
Right.
if in the US, if people stopped shopping, I think our economy would be in a lot of trouble. Like if people started to
I
realize, "Oh, my value doesn't actually come from having a
Yeah.
high-end car," we'd be in a lot of trouble.
We
But
would
I
be
hope
in
it
a lot of
happens.
trouble. But it's not gonna be me. Well, yeah, I think also the thing is, even guys, if like Lindsay and I, we don't get luxury stuff, but it was so much fun. It was kind of a fun discussion
It's
topic to
fun.
just talk
Yeah,
about these things, share what we get, what we don't get, try and play a game naming brands. So this is a
yeah,
great connection topic. So don't think to yourself like, oh, I don't get that stuff. So
right.
I'm not going to use this vocabulary. It's fun to talk about. You're going to hear it a lot. So very good connection topic, I think.
Y Yeah, I think it's a just to go one level deeper there, I think it's a connection topic because people love to talk about things that say something about themselves subtly.
Mm.
Right, when you
Yes.
say what kind of brands you like to buy or what do you think about this? "Oh, it's a little high end for me," or "Yeah, I love that because it's so
Aha.
luxury." That is saying so much
Right.
more than just talking about that purse or that car.
Right.
That's saying
That's
so
so
much about
true.
your value, your success, your
Right.
what you think is important. So, guys, open up this topic, right? Open up this
Yes.
topic in a subtle, interesting way. It could make a great
Yes.
conversation to
I
connect.
agree. I
Yeah,
agree.
yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for this question, and we will talk to you soon.
All right, Michelle, take care.
All
Bye.
right, bye.